the Black Knight satellite is an object that is orbiting the Earth right now in a polar orbit, although it has shifted its orbit a couple of times. It's approximately around 15 tons, according to NASA and the Russian space agencies. They've actually kind of estimated the weight, they've scanned it. STS-88 was a space shuttle mission that took great HD photos of it, and they placed them on nasa.gov. They called it space junk. Now, this thing is so big and so massive and so scary because it appears to be under intelligent control because it's changed its orbit a couple times, which rocks don't do, obviously. It looks technological. And America thought Russia put it there, and Russia thought we put it there. So it almost triggered an actual war.
Wow.
When I started researching the Black Knight satellite, the first thing I wanted to find out was, has anyone tested it for any type of a frequency? And come to find out, Nikola Tesla picked up a frequency from this thing in the early 1900s. Initially, he thought it was coming maybe from Mars. Ended up, it was this object orbiting Earth. Then in 1957 and 58, ham radio operators picked up a signal from this thing, and they began to log the codes. It was this repeated signal, this repeated frequency. In 1960, an astronomer actually mapped out the frequency and created a pattern. That pattern was a star system and a constellation. And he actually made Time magazine in 1960. So this Black Knight satellite made Time magazine. And what was interesting is the frequency was giving up the location of a constellation named Epsilon Boötis, or the Boötis constellation, where the Epsilon star is located. And so when I found that out, I was like, wow. Going back to the ancient texts and stuff that I study, I just went and did a very general Google search because I had nowhere to start. I didn't know where to start. And I said, because I know that in ancient times, some of these Sumerian gods, they owned planets, moons. And so I said, who owns Boötis? And right away, the answer popped up and the link to the tablet and everything else. Enlil, the ancient Sumerian god named Enlil, owned Boötis. So I started researching extensively the Boötis constellation, and I discovered something called the Boötis Void. Now, the Boötis Void, Michio Kaku talked about this on mainstream TV and science shows over the years. There's this area inside of the Boötis constellation, which is light years across, that appears to have not even any space dust in it. And it appears, according to Michio Kaku, it appears to be a cloaked, advanced civilization, which blew me away. So I started digging even deeper into this, and I discovered that this object, not only is it giving up the Boötis constellation and the star Epsilon, but it's also giving it up where it was in position in the precession of the equinox in our skies 13,000 years ago. So potentially, hypothetically, according to that alignment, this thing might be 13,000 years old. And what happened 13,000 years ago? We had the Younger Dryas incident, where this massive object crashed right above Syria, melted a huge ice sheet, and partially globally flooded most of the planet, and completely put Egypt underwater. And so it's incredible that that thing would be there around that time. Could it be that these Anunnaki or these Anuna, according to the ancient text, that they fled at that time and dropped a satellite in orbit to watch over us? And I talked to an astrophysicist, and I talked to him about, who works for the government, by the way. He has government Pentagon contracts. How could an object like this communicate over light years distance to Boötis if it needed to? They said through quantum entanglement. They may be able to quantum entangle the data feed and send it over vast distances, maybe almost instantaneously. So these people or these beings or whatever they are from Boötis could be in a cloaked advanced civilization. They could still be watching us today, and this object is still up there because they're afraid to touch it, because you don't know if you touch something like that, what is this defense mechanism? Is ET going to call home and send the troops? So you just leave it alone. And it's been left alone and it's still there. We couldn't put any object into a polar orbit like this thing has been doing since the 1900s. We couldn't do that. I think it was until the 1970s or late 1970s. So this is way more advanced technology than we have even today. But it's been nicknamed the Black Knight Satellite. I did a whole documentary on this, which got 3 awards. It's
Wow.
called Black Knight Satellite: The Untold Story. It's
Wow.
on my TV app.